Good evening and welcome to the Sports Influencer Roundtable. My name is Jabari Johnson. I am your host for the evening and I appreciate you guys tapping into this episode. We have some very special guests lined up tonight. Two high profile college basketball players are here to share their story, their journey on how they got to where they are today, some of the challenges they've had to overcome, and they're also going to share what life is like playing as a college athlete in the transfer portal as well as the NIL era of college athletics. So, looking forward to a real in-depth conversation with Texas A&M All-American Wade Taylor IV will be on the round table with us tonight, as well as all-WAC performer, Utah Valley transfer who just committed to Oklahoma, Mr. Letre Darthard will be on the show with us tonight. And we also have a special guest contributor with us, Coach Ty Ellis, USA Basketball, will be joining us tonight. So let's go ahead and bring these guys on. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
What's going on? Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys joining us. Looking forward to a great conversation. Coach Ellis, before I get started with the guys, I want to briefly discuss with you. So you've been coaching NBA for 7 years now, more like closer to 10 years. You've also been with Team USA coaching on that level. But now you're getting to kind of do something for the first time that's a little out of the ordinary for you, which is coaching youth basketball. So talk a little bit about what's been going on with your experience with coaching your son and the flight school opportunity that we have going on. You guys had a big opening weekend this weekend, correct?
Yeah, man. We did. First of all, coaching in the NBA and coaching in the G League and USA is very easy, right? But when you're coaching 12U kids, man, who live and die on every single word that you say, that's the most gratifying thing, because I have to be super careful on what I say every single word. But it's been great, man, just to see these kids grow. You know, the flight school, man, we are literally laying the foundation for excellence. We're not really focused on perfection, like we preach progression, if that makes sense. And so the foundation is being made. I literally have the same verbiage with my 12U that I have with my professional athletes, whereas we're talking about two-man eye versus a three-man eye. Catch the ball on the strong side elbow, give me a reverse pivot, left, right, left. And so these are 12U kids. And I think that initially, so some parents didn't think their kids could handle this type of verbiage, which is totally wrong, right? Like, these kids understand what all the verbiage, whether it's a DHO, a dribble handoff, whether I'm saying pop your feet and pitch and screen. And so we are literally teaching these kids how to play basketball that's going to be transferable at their next stop, whether it's a middle school team, high school team, so forth and so on. So I'm super blessed and excited to be coaching a 12U basketball team.
Now, what's it like coaching your son? You know, does he see the accolades that daddy has as a coach, or does he just see you as dad, and is it hard to coach? And talk a little bit about that process.
He don't see it until somebody, you know, recognize me, or I'm on the phone talking to some NBA people or some coaches or players, and then he'll ask, was that so-and-so from that team? And like, how you know though? I think, bro, like, come on, man, like, you know, it is what it is, man. But I love coaching my son because I've seen so many unfortunate AAU coaches who scream and yell and curse and all these different things at these young kids for making a mistake. But Wade and Letre, they're not the players that they are right now because they were perfect as kids. They had somebody who nurtured them, who allowed them to make mistakes and learn from them. And so I refuse to let a grown man bully my son because he makes a basketball mistake. So I decided to, coach my son and his team, and we got some great parents. And to be honest with you, Jabbar, we turn kids away because of their parents. Yeah. And so we turned away kids who are really, really good, but their parents are so focused on them being the best, the highest ranked 12-year-old in the state of Texas. Like, nah, bro, we're not here for that. We're gonna win games because we win the day. And if we just win the day, every day we step on the court, we win that day. Winning the game is a byproduct of just consistent effort. And so that's what we are all about. And I just absolutely love it.
Absolutely, man. That's big time. You know, coaching youth basketball can be a challenge in itself, man, but it's always rewarding to see these guys walk in the door as beginners, raw, not really knowing much, to fast forward and years later, they're playing on their high school varsity team. Some of them going to college, even going making it to the pros. So that's cool, man. The grassroots effort is about development. You know, I say all the time, anything below 17U is about development.
That's right.
It's about development, and these two guys know that. They've been going through the process before they got to college. They played AAU for pretty much their whole lives and have gone through the ups and downs of it. And I'm gonna let them share a little bit about their process. Wade, talk a little bit about your grassroots process growing up in Dallas, man. What you can remember, some of the highs and lows, and some of the things that were important to you coming out.
I have a lot of throughout the grad plan. And settling us out a little bit. Coach throughout my life. Like Coach harp on him, like told me this. I'll be.
Wade, I think we got to fix your audio. Your audio was kind of choppy on that. We'll test it. Let's test it out on your end and see if we can get that worked out. Letre, let's throw it over to you while Wade works on his. Throw it over to you. Talk a little bit about your process. You were the underdog coming out. Hell of a story. Wasn't ranked, had to go the long route, and now you're here getting ready to go play in the Big 12. Talk about that process.
Something that I stuck with me since growing up was just, stick to my path, stick to my journey. I don't try to compare myself to anybody else. I just try to run my race, run my route, and keep my head down. But growing up, I played with a little family team out here. And then I think my sophomore, junior year, I went to Big E in Dallas Showtime, and that's the underdog team. You gotta fight every day to get what you get, win games. So, just my whole upbringing, I had to fight. It was given. I had to, come in day out, focus on myself, while also keeping the team in mind, just getting better day by day and letting everything take care of itself. So, yeah, that's my story a little bit.
So as an unranked guy coming out of Dengar, you played on a nationally ranked high school team with, I think you guys had 4 or 5 Division I prospects on that team. Jalen Wilson, Davion Harmon, Jacoby Cole, Grayson Carter, Davion Harmon, the list goes on. But anyway, you were a guy who was under the radar. Talk a little bit about that process and what the message is to the next under the radar guy that's following in your footsteps.
I mean, you can't fall. You can't. I mean, of course, you want to go D1 right out of high school, but you can't fall in love with that. Like, you got to fall in love with the process. Like, I was just telling somebody just the other day, comparison is the thief of all joy. So if I were to compare myself to Davion, Jalen, Jacoby, any of them boys, I wouldn't be where I am today, because ultimately I would have lost my love of the game just because I didn't get what they got right out of high school. So my message to them would be, run your own race, keep your head down, and just stay focused, and everything's going to work out how it's supposed to.
Love it. Run your own race. Run your own race. Wade, let me see if we got you back right. Coach Ellis, how's that?
So far so good. When he started talking, I'll let you know, because I heard bits and pieces of what he said.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Take it away, Wade.
What are we talking about now?
We still talk. We need you to redo your AAU grassroots experience, because we didn't hear too much of that.
Yeah, like I was saying, growing up in AAU was a pretty Coach Jazz and Coach Burt playing for Urban DFW. They very true to who I am today. They believed in me a lot. Playing up.
And we lost him again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still got some technical difficulties over there. Wade, let me see.
If you're on your phone, turn it sideways because you're probably the speaker's probably facing down towards whatever your thing's on. So try to turn it sideways.
I think Letre might have solved the problem, Coach Ty.
Well, he way better than me, man. I feel.
Is that it?
I'm upside down though, on my part.
A lot better though.
All right, let's see if we can hear you now, Wade. We want to hear about your upbringing, your origin story.
Yeah. You are Wade. You are sideways.
Right.
But I can look at you like this a little bit. You know.
There we go.
There we go.
Guys, we good now?
All right, take us away, Fo. There we go, Fo.
Playing for Urban was amazing. Coach Jazz and Coach Pert really nourished me to who I was today. Like Coach Ellis said, they let me make mistakes throughout me playing because they always knew I was a younger kid. You know, playing up on 17s all 3 years. I had a lot of growing and a lot of learning to do, and it was tough. But Coach Jazz, man, rest his soul, he was the guy that who I am made me who I am today.
You know, these guys played for two of the legendary grassroots coaches in Texas, in Jazzy Hartwell and Urban Big E Davis. So I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out those two guys. RIP to those guys and their contributions to grassroots basketball and the kids they've helped. Been able to witness their journeys from start to finish, and we're getting a chance to see two of their products right here live at night. So I'd be remiss if I didn't share that with those two guys. Coach Ellis, you got something you want to chime in with these two guys on?
Yeah. So this past year, I also did ESPN color analyst for UTA games. You know, so in different college games, and I saw Trey play live at UTA. And obviously seeing Wade, Jabari, you and I were talking as he was playing on TV. And the one thing that really stood out was the poise. Like, you guys never got too high, never got too low. You know, you guys, when y'all made plays, y'all done it before. Y'all weren't doing all the antics and celebrating. When y'all made the mistakes, y'all had this what's next mentality. And I would challenge or ask young people, young athletes, have anybody ever taught you guys how to fail? And most of them say, they give me this strange look. Well, there's a method to failing. And if you apply this method, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. And it's why, how, and what's next. And a lot of young people, they get stuck on the why and how, and they never get to the what's next. But I've literally seen you guys at the highest level make a mistake, and y'all are able to digest the why, how, and what's next so quick. Yeah. And that's super valuable because now so many people, adults included, this generation where most people are afraid to fail. And I didn't see that in you guys. So I'm not surprised to see you guys or to witness you guys' ascension.
Yeah, I can second that, man. These guys are, you know, just watching them. I'll tell you this, Coach, as a coach, you can always tell the impact a player has by how his head coach talks about it. And knowing these guys since growing up is one thing, but I listen to how their head coaches talk about them right now today. And you listen to the interviews about Buzz Williams talking about how a kid has the keys to the program and he's never done that before. And you think about the caliber of players he's coached prior to Wade Taylor. That's a big statement coming from Buzz Williams. So just tells me a lot about these guys' leadership and who they are as young men. The basketball talent is there, man, but I'm more impressed with the character. These guys are high character dudes. You've never heard any off the court issues with these guys, Coach. It's you don't find too many like that in this area. So I definitely want to salute these guys. So let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room. And I'm gonna start with you, Letre. It's an epidemic in college basketball right now. The buzz right now is the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is talking, good, bad, and ugly. Everybody has something to say about the transfer portal. And there's roughly 2,500 players right now in the portal. You were one of those players who elected to jump into the portal after a standout season at a mid-major conference.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about why, what went into your decision, and any regrets so far. I guess it's too soon for any regrets yet, but talk a little bit about that decision.
I mean, it was a tough one. I didn't want to leave. Utah Valley, they've been good to me ever since I got here, and they gave me the platform, and I was very thankful for them. But as y'all know, Madsen, he left to Cal, so, I had to weigh my options, and obviously going into the portal was one of those, and that's exactly what I did. In terms of the transfer portal, it's a lot. In my shoes, it's a blessing because I'm here from, 45, 50 coaches. Most people aren't. So I just looked at it as a blessing. It did get overwhelming at some points, but that's just, that's a blessing. You can't look at it as nothing else but a blessing because coming out of high school, I had nobody calling me. So, I looked at that as a blessing. But, I feel like Oklahoma is the right spot for me. The thing I was looking for was a spot that would allow me to develop, keep growing, because I've grown every year I've been in college. And also a coach I could put my trust in, because this is 1 year stop, and I need to trust the coach to allow me to play my game and do the things that I do very well, and then also keep building my game, like I said. So the transfer portal, it's good and bad, but I think it's more good than bad.
Now, your last season at Utah Valley, how many transfers were on this last roster that you can remember?
I want to say over 6, 7, 8. I think we're returning two, 3 guys.
2 or 3 guys. You had 6 guys out the portal. And my next question is this. Do you remember the oldest player on your roster last year?
Yeah, 24.
24.
Mm-hmm, correct.
So for you high schoolers out there that think I'm kidding when I say you might be playing with 23 and 24-year-olds, you just heard a college player tell you it's a 24-year-old on his roster. Some of them have 25, and it was a kid at Memphis, I think, DeAndre Williams is the oldest player, which is 26 this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So the game is getting older.
It is.
Definitely.
How many did you have a top 5, or did you just immediately narrow it down to OU?
So the first week and a half, I was just getting call after call after call, so I couldn't make no top 5. But towards the end, it was Oklahoma, Seton Hall. I wasn't thinking about them. Duquesne, LMU, and there was one more I can't remember. But yeah, those were the top 4 or 5.
Okay. All right. Wade Taylor. Now Wade was on the Coach Wade was on the opposite side of that spectrum in a sense, because he elected not to go into the portal, stay where he was. And I'm going to let him talk a little bit about his decision not to go into the portal, because believe it or not, he could have made that decision and it would have had a line of suitors with the season that he had this past year. So Wade, talk a little bit about your decision not to enter the portal and stick with your commitment to Texas A&M.
Yeah, like you said earlier about You listen to the coach interviews, and I mean, like Coach said, I have the keys to the program, and that means a lot to me. We had an amazing season, and all the coaches here believe in me, and I believe in them. We have a lot of returners coming back, a great team coming back, and I found a home here in College Station. And don't get me wrong, the transfer portal is some guys may need the transfer portal, just to go find a better situation. But I feel like in my journey, in my race, the transfer portal is not something that I need to, become a better man every day. I think Aggie land is where I need to be.
Listen, the love that this kid gets in College Station, man, I can't blame him for wanting to stay, coach. Man, listen, you go to a game, you watch a post game, every picture, this kid is in front leading the Yale. So A&M has the big student Yale section or whatever. And man, he's like the president of the school or the mayor of the city, man. He's so popular. So I can definitely respect the decision to, stay put, especially if it's a fit on the basketball court. A lot of these players, bro, are, I'll call it cashing in on their success.
Definitely.
And it's nothing wrong with that. But you still want to make sure you're finding a fit at that next stop. Nothing worse than headed off for greener pastures and you get there and you don't get any playing time, or it's a bad fit, or you find out when it's too late. So I can always respect, especially these two with their family structures and the advisors around them. They're going to make the right decisions and, ask the right questions before they make any moves. So, Coach, you got anything you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of negative things about the transfer portal, and mostly they're coming from college coaches. There's no loyalty and ... And man, the business of basketball is not loyal to nobody but yourself.
Right.
And so these coaches aren't passing up these bigger contracts to stay. You know what I'm saying? So why do the young men and women have to have that same type of mindset? And I also love in my opinion, now this may rub some people the wrong way, but I don't care. So
we're going to talk free.
So I think a lot of these coaches are great recruiters. And let's put it out there. A lot of them, I won't say a lot, but some lie. They lie to get these kids to sign, and then what you get there is totally different. But now these coaches have to stand on what they say. These coaches have to improve their skill. It's not just enough. It's not enough just to know what you know without willing to grow. And we want these young men and women to continue to get better every single year. Well, the coaches now have to get better every single year. And so I think the portal is a great thing for everybody because it's going to hold everybody accountable, right? And so I think it's awesome that these young men and women are getting paid. I love it, man, because there's only so many spots in the NBA. There's only so many high-paying jobs in Europe. People say I play overseas. All right, well, you're still making $2,500 a month. You know what I'm saying? So that's not really playing overseas. You're working overseas, but you still, but there's only so many six-figure jobs, man. And if these young men and women can get paid in college, why not? And so I think Coach Buzz has done a phenomenal job of identifying that Wade is a keeper. He's a foundational piece, and he understands that I need to support this young man in the media, on the court, so he can stay. So credit to him and his staff. And so it's just awesome feeling, man. Letre, quick question. Were you at Utah Valley when I came out there to speak in 2020?
I think I just got there.
Okay. All right. I know Mark and I are pretty close. We were in Minnesota together, and he brought me out to your school to speak.
I think I was, yeah, because that was my first year.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure.
Speaking of, Coach, you talked on something that I want to kind of shift over to a little bit. Name, image, and likeness. Coach, these guys can do something that you and I couldn't do as college players, which is make money off their name, image, and likeness. So as you know, we're super excited for these young men to be able to get this opportunity to, as you say, capitalize off of their, their platforms. And most people don't understand that, especially as athletes. A lot of times, your highest earning potential is in college, depending on where you go, because most guys won't, matriculate into the professionals. So just for these guys to be able to, capitalize off it and to understand it is a great thing. I'm going to start with Wade because I remember talking to Wade about this when he was in the 9th grade at the Texas Hoop Summit in our marketing and branding. He said, man, do X, Y, Z because this is coming. And so now to see him fast forward 5, 6, 7 years later with one of the biggest names in the conference, man, it's truly remarkable to see, from where he started from. So Wade, talk a little bit about that process off the court, marketing your brand. Tell us what's going on with the TaylorMade brand and all that good stuff.
A different ballpark, off the court. Of course, what you do on the court definitely helps, your name, image, and likeness off the court. But it's been a great thing. I'm glad that I came to school before NIL started because I picked my school for the right reason, and I think that's helped me become what I am today and what God has blessed me with today. Coach Buzz and them, they're phenomenal staff. They put us in positions on the court to have great opportunities off the court. Like for instance, the shirt I have on is from a company down here called CC Creation. They make shirts for some of the players on the team, and it's just another opportunity, another blessing that we have off the court that we've got on the court. So NIL is a big thing around college basketball now. I hope it doesn't turn into like a bidding contest or where guys are just going to school just to get the highest paid money. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's about the fit. If you have a great on-court situation, why not stay there and just have a blast? Because once these years are up, you don't get them back. So just playing on the court and just taking all the opportunities you can is pretty much the biggest thing.
Man, that's heavy. That's heavy. Trey, how about you? What's NIL life been like for you playing in the NIL era?
Coming up from JUCO, prep school, all that, money was never in my mind. Like coming here, Utah Valley, I came here before NIL, and I was here all 3 years through it. Like, what the most we got was $100, $200, and I thought we was up. Like, I'm not here for the money. But once I put my name in that portal, I realized, wow, this is really a business. It was never about the money for me. I love the game too much for it to be about the money. But it just makes you realize, like, wow, man, people out there really value you. And I realized that it's a blessing, like I said, because I'm a JUCO player. Man, we make $100 work. So, it's a blessing. I hope people don't, try to take advantage of it. But, I'm also not against people taking advantage of it because why not? It's out there. You might as well get something out of it. So, it's a double-edged sword, but, I'm there for it.
NIL often say this. They say one of the things that is wrong with NIL is that it's going to tear up locker rooms. Mm-hmm. I want both of you guys to respond to that.
Yeah. Trey, let me get this. Let me start.
Yeah.
I've heard that too, Coach. When it first started, a lot of people would say, "Oh, how you guys gonna get along? If such and such is getting this and he's getting that," and I feel like if you build your team on the right things, no matter who's getting what or what's going on, I think guys will be happy for each other, because everybody on the team once, came from trying to get to this level and trying to get these blessings. I just feel like once everybody gets that and be a part of one big thing, it shouldn't be a locker room problem because we're all playing this game for the same thing. So I'm not too big on the locker room cancer unless you have guys in there who's in it for the wrong reasons. But if you have guys in there for the right reasons and want to win championship and want to win games to make everybody's lives better, it won't be a locker room cancer at all.
Yeah, and just
to
piggyback off of what he said, like I feel like you said, if you're there for the right reason, money is never a problem. Like people shouldn't be, in terms I'm gonna say, pocket watching. If the team is constructed right, you're not gonna be pocket watching because everybody's there for one common goal, and that's to win. The money, that's just the bonus on top of everything. Like me coming from mid-major, I would never look at somebody else's pocket because anything I get is a blessing. So I'm not there to look at somebody's pockets and be like, oh, how he get this? Nah, I ain't with that. I'm there to uplift everybody. I want to see everybody win. So that's the way I look at it. I don't think it should be a problem, but of course there are teams who are out there for the wrong type of things and the wrong type of reasons.
Jabbar, can I chime in?
Absolutely.
I think Wade and Letre are literally coaches' dreams, and I'm not saying that just to blow smoke, right? And I think both of you guys have this pure mindset about the business of basketball, and as long as you guys can keep it that pure, fight to keep it that pure, right? But it's all about the money. Make no mistake about it. Somebody is getting paid off of something, right? And now the one thing about NIL that I love is teaching you guys how to become businessmen early.
Definitely.
Right? That's absolutely awesome, right? It's also teaching you guys that you guys are always being watched. You guys are always being interviewed. You may not know the person in the grocery store, but the person in the grocery store know you.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's going to breed respect and understanding that, hey man, like I am a brand. You know, you guys may not know this bar from Jay-Z, but one of his bars is, I'm a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. And that's what you guys are. You know, and so I think it's awesome. I think the potential problem is all about leadership. If you have poor leadership, the coaching staff on down, you have a poor locker room. Right, but if you guys have great leaders with your coaching staff, it will breed competition, but it will also breed ownership. And what that means is, like, I would tell my players, I would give my players their role. Some of them don't like it, some of them do. I said, well, those of you who like your role, work your butt off to keep it. Those of you who don't like your role, work your butt off to change it. But the common denominator is work your butt off. So if Wade Taylor got this particular NIL deal and so don't, all right, bro, you got the same hours in a day. You have the same opportunity to work your butt off to get that same deal, and let's go get it, right? And that starts with leadership. And so money always has the opportunity to destroy anything, right? It's part of life. Right, but there is always an opportunity to go out and get it yourself. And Letre, that's what you're talking about. Like, man, I'm not gonna, pocket watch, but I'm gonna tell you this though. You mentioned comparison early. Comparison is not going nowhere. But there's two things with comparison. It breeds envy or motivation. So you're going to compare it with yourself with something. That's just part of life. But you have the power to turn that into motivation or jealousy, right? And you've turned that into motivation, coming from JUCO ... And now, man, that's going to help you out so much down the line, man. So that's my 2 cents on NIL and the locker room stuff.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Great stuff, guys. Before we transition into what's going to be our final segment, we want to encourage everybody that's watching to hit that like button, share the broadcast, leave a message in the comments, let these young men know where you're tuning in from. Subscribe on YouTube as well, please. So, guys, next segment. Here we go. Very, very important topic. Another elephant in the room in college athletics is mental health and student athletes. Let's talk a little bit about some of the resources in place at your respective institutions and some of the things you guys do to, considering all the things you're juggling on a daily basis as a student athlete with, keeping up with basketball, academics, social life, technology, all the other demands that's coming along with being a 20, 21-year-old student athlete. Let's talk a little bit about how you guys manage your mental health. Letre, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm a very simple person. Like, I go to the gym, I come home, but I realized I had to start incorporating, like, I got to separate the two, basketball and my life. Like, because let's say I have a bad game in basketball, I don't want that to carry over to my personal life, and my girl's all mad at me because I got an attitude because we lost the game. Like, it should never be that serious. Of course, you should soak in the moment, turn those losses into some lessons, but I just learned to separate. I got me a dog out here, got me a girlfriend. So, I leave basketball at the basketball gym, and when I come home, it's all about them. So I just learned to separate, and that allowed me to flourish this year.
Wow, that's good stuff. Wade Taylor.
I kind of just think it's all about balance. Like Trey said, you leave basketball and your personal life with your personal life. Balancing school, balancing basketball, balancing your outside life could sometimes get hard, but I just feel like if you're open to talk to people about it, or just accept the fact of what it is, it shouldn't be a problem. We have a thing down here called Blueprint. It's where most of the black athletes go to just have a free space and just talk about the things that we go through on a daily basis. Being at a predominant, white institution, being an African American athlete. I mean, it could be hard sometimes, but just having that free space to talk about that outside of being in the gym, being on the track or the football field, just having that safe space to go talk about things that we encounter here every day is always a blessing.
Coach Ellis.
Yeah, and so in 2020, that was my last job in the NBA. I was head coach in the G League, and I decided to move back home and start my own business. And I realized that God gave me vision in 2020, and I realized I was chasing my ambitions but not pursuing my vision. And my vision has always been people. And so now I have clients from literally all over the country, and I travel and speak. And one particular former player of mine, his name is Gabe Vincent. And Gabe is now the starting point guard for the Miami Heat. His first year, he averaged 8 points. Second year with me, he averaged 24. And he got called up and went on. People always ask me, Ty, what'd you do to his game? Like, what'd you teach him? I didn't do nothing to his game. He was a good player before I even touched him, right? But I changed his mindset. And that's what really changed with him. He wasn't afraid to fail. And we started having mental strength and conditioning exercises. And I believe if you don't embody any type of mental exercises, you will be controlled by mental emergencies. It's going to happen, right? And the Trey talked about unplugging. That's so valuable. That's so valuable to leave that energy at the gym, after the game, after practice, because you guys are so much more than basketball players, right? Basketball is your talent, but each one of y'all have God-given vision and God-given gifts that you guys must give away, right? And so once you prioritize you as an athlete and you as a person, you won't be consumed by the identity of a basketball player. And I love the fact how mature you guys are mentally. And I encourage you guys to keep on doing these mental strength and conditioning exercises, because you reach higher levels. We all know, the devil is extremely busy. So hats off to you guys.
Wow. It's very big, and I want to encourage all parents that are watching this. There are a lot of parents that are watching this broadcast that are parents of kids who are being recruited now. And a lot of times I tell these parents, you guys aren't asking the right questions during the recruiting process. One of the questions that a lot of parents need to make sure they're prioritizing during the process is, what mental health resources are in place for my son if he comes to your school, or my son or my daughter? That's a very important question that many fail to ask, and they usually don't find out until it's too late and there's some type of cry going on after the fact. So I want to encourage you guys, especially want to shout out A&M, Utah Valley. definitely providing those resources to those athletes, and a lot of them do. A lot of them do. And again, you guys in the comments, if you guys want to get in touch with Coach Ty, leave me a message. I'll make sure you get in touch with him. He does a great job of mental conditioning, exercising, and working with athletes. So I'll be sure to make sure we get to that. We get that connection. So guys, as we let you go, as we wind down, I want to talk a little bit about your transition from high school to college level basketball, and what that was like, what that journey was like, and also some of your best piece of advice for some of the young fellas following in your footsteps. So Wade, I started with you.
It was a pretty good transition. Coming from high school to coming to college, playing with different type of players around the country, like not being the best player on the team, like being able to play with other great players is a skill. It's a skill to me. It's a skill to learn, because you learn a lot of things from your teammates once you get to move in, staying with them, being with them 24/7. It's a lot. Coming from high school, not being in the weight room as much, to now in college, lifting every day. It's just a different transition. It's a better transition to me. If you go about it the right way, I feel like that transition can make you a better college player if you treat it the right way.
Go ahead, Trey. I'll let you chime in.
Yeah, no, my transition, I think it was smooth, because I didn't go straight from high school to D1. I went prep school, so that gave me a year to, feel things out, get my body right, add 15 pounds, and then I went JUCO. And JUCO's tough, but you gotta understand that everybody's out there for the same goal, is to compete. So if you don't compete night in or night out, you're gonna get killed. So I just developed a mindset in JUCO, really, like, to come out and beat my opponents in every little aspect of the game. And then from JUCO to D1, I felt like at that point it was more seamless than anything, because I had those 2 years behind me, JUCO prep school, and I just, like Wade said, I fit in behind the key players on the team, and each year I kept taking those steps to allow me to become the player I was this year. So it was
So
cool.
Wade, you mean to tell me you didn't get a Division I offer out of high school, and it was not the end of the world? You didn't quit. You wasn't a D1 or bust guy. You just trusted the process and got in where you fit in, and now you're playing in the Big 12. Did I hear that, Coach Ellis?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for you D1 or bust guys, and Letre was a kid who I literally worked with as an unsigned senior, so I remember his process better than most. There are a lot of kids right now that was in Letre's situation, Coach, that is D1 or bust. They're still waiting by the phone for Texas Tech, Texas A&M, OU to call them, instead of taking that opportunity at that prep school, because they think the prep school is beneath them. And here's a prime example. Letre is literally the poster boy for trusting the process, getting in where you fit in, and working your tail off, and is to become a pro. He's going to be a pro.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine where he came from. If he can do it, why can't the next guy?
And
but
something
again, it goes back to that mindset. Go ahead, Trey.
No, and something I would say about that is, you got to lose that ego. Like, if I would have had an ego, man, I ain't going prep school, I ain't going JUCO. You got to lose that ego, and you got to lose it fast. Because let's say, like, your Wade, you go straight D1. You still got to lose that ego, because you're not going to be the best player on the team. You're going to have to work your way up. And let's say you are the best player on the team. You're going to play the other best player on another team. You might get killed. So that ego has to go.
I tell you this,
go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
I think of Jimmy Butler, especially during the playoffs. The NBA is highlighting certain stories, and Letre sounds like the Jimmy Butler story, right? And there's something about basketball that I tell all of my players I've coached, man. Sports is a very humbling thing that you do, and there's two choices. Either you embrace humility or you will be humble. It's going to happen. So you might as well embrace it and learn from it, and don't be in a hurry. And these young men right here, Jabari, bro, I'm so impressed with them. You know, I knew of them because doing my research and watching them play, but to hear them talk, to hear how articulate they are and projecting their thoughts so simple enough that everybody can digest it. Yep. Right. And so, man, I encourage y'all young brothers, man, keep on giving, keep on serving, and all of your ambitions will definitely be met.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, guys, talk a little bit about some of your upcoming personal and team goals for the upcoming year. Trey, I'll start with you.
My ultimate goal is to win. I tell everybody this, like, coming into Utah Valley this last year, my only goal was to win. And of course, as you've seen, it allowed me to flourish, and that allowed me to be first team all WAC, first team all defense. But I feel like if you have that mindset that you want to come in and win, everything's going to take care of itself. Like, that's all I focus on. I focus on the now, the present, and that's winning. And I feel like if you do that, everything's going to take care of itself. Your play is going to speak for itself, and you don't got to do too much talking. So my goal is just to win.
And
yeah, I gotta agree with Trey on just to be better than you were yesterday. The goal to win, like he said. I mean, it allowed him to be first team, and I mean, it allowed me to be first team also, third team All-American. I mean, just believing in my team, believing in all the tools and keys that we had for one another and to win games. I mean, winning is the ultimate goal. So that's the main thing.
Wow. You guys got any shout outs? Shout out to you. I'll personally shout out your families, but I'll let you guys shout outs as we let you go. And also your parting words for that 12, 13, 14-year-old that wants to be where you are someday. What's your best piece of advice? Who's going to take it first?
I'm gonna stay with Trey said earlier about running your race. Run your race, man. Believe in yourself. Believe in God, and just let your work speak for yourself. Your success comes from your. That's all I say.
What I would say is, be yourself. I write it under my signature every time I sign it. Be yourself, and everything's going to take care of itself. You don't worry about being what you want to be. Worry about where your feet are. Worry about where your 10 toes are at, and everything will take care of itself, and it's going to play out how it's supposed to.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give my predictions. We're going to have Coach Ellis, SEC Player of the Year candidate coming up, and we'll have a Big 12 Newcomer of the Year candidate at very least coming up out of these two. You guys talk a little bit about your team goals, individual goals, and then we'll let you go. Any shout outs, and then let them know where they can find you online so we can go out and buy some of that merch and support your NIL endeavors. Go ahead, Trey.
Next year, I hope some team goals is, man, get back to the NCAA tournament. Try to win our conference, man. We've been to the championship 2 years in a row in the conference tournament. Try to win that one. Just win some games in the tournament. Just be a better team than we were last year. Continue to learn on the things that we encountered this year. We have a lot of experience. So, and then just my personal goal is just to come back, just to be a better leader than I were this year. I'm an upperclassman now, so I've seen a lot of things. I've been through a lot of things on this team down here in Aggie Land, and just to be the better person every day is most of the main goals. You guys can find me on Instagram at VWadeTaylorIV. Everything is pretty much my name. That's it.
All right, some personal. You got it.
No. Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead.
Some team goals for me: get to that tournament, win games, obviously, and some individual goals is I am that old guy on the team now. In January, I think 24. So I mean, if you want to come and you got to compete against me every day, but some individual goals for me is just to pour onto my teammates. I am the old guy. I got experience. Won 2 conference championships. Most people don't know how to win. It's a skill to know how to win. So just pour that experience and knowledge on the people, and just impact my teammates in the best way I can. And then on the court, just develop in my passing game and things like that. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter at Trey_D24.
Outstanding job, guys. And before we let you go, congratulations to Letre on graduating, walking the stage with his degree this week. Huge honor, man. Salute. That's big time, brother. Shout out to the families, both Taylor and Darthard families. Thank you guys so much for the job well done on these two young men. Coach Ellis, you got anything you want to say as we let them go?
Yeah, man. I have this thing this program called the Core 4. And the Core 4 values to achieve greatness in anything. You got to have these 4 things. You may find 5, 6, or 7, but these 4 things, I call it CDOC: commitment, discipline, ownership, and consistency. You got to have these 4. And if you embody these 4 characteristics, you will be great in everything that you do. You guys can find me at ellispg.com, ELLISPG.com, and I'm here to serve.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you for being a part of the Sports Influencer Roundtable. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to go follow us online on social media at the Sports Influencer. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks again.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Blessings, guys.